Voices of the Land, Indigenous Design Planning from the Prairies. Welcome back to Wednesdays with Wilfred. This week, we're joined by Danielle Desjarlais, an alumna and current Faculty of Architecture master student and one of the amazing editors for the brand new book, Voices of the Land, Indigenous Design Planning from the Prairies. Thank you so much for joining us today, Danielle, as one of the editors, alumna from the University of Manitoba, Bachelor of Environmental Design. What sparked your passion for becoming an architect?
Hi, so thanks for having me. So I think my passion and interest started in high school, maybe a little bit sooner. I've always been interested in just drawing generally, being hands-on with things, being creative and having fun with projects. So in high school, I took a drafting course, which is pretty rare to have in high school. So I was really lucky to be exposed to that so early on. And I just fell in love with drafting and all the programs and hand drafting and learning about buildings and how things are built. So that really sparked my interest, and it really provided me with the knowledge and skills of moving forward with architecture as a career. And at that point, I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. So I was lucky. I knew what I wanted to do right away going into university. I know a lot of people don't have that.
For me and people who are artistically challenged and can draw, that wasn't the path that we could probably choose. But I guess a big question that I have is, do you have to be a good drawer, or do you have to be able to draw well to be an architect?
No, you do not. A lot of people ask the same question, and it for sure helps a little bit, but you go into the faculty basically knowing nothing about architecture. Everybody's on the same page as you. You're there to learn things. You're there to learn how to draw. You get drawing courses, and yeah, it's nice knowing a lot of people don't know the basics, and I didn't know a lot going into architecture, and it totally changed my perspective, and I learned so much in architecture, even just that first year.
That's phenomenal. And let's pivot to your newly released book with 3 other alumna from the Faculty of Architecture at the University of Manitoba.
So the editors, there are 4 of us: Naomi, Ratte, Reanna, Merasty, and Desiree, Theriault. This little idea of kind of exposing architecture, design, landscape design, everything to more people, to more Indigenous communities. So that's where this idea of having a publication to showcase Indigenous student work, and we're just showcasing all their work. So most of the content in the book is their work and their experiences in the faculty. And we also did alumni interviews. So people that are now practicing architects, interior designers, landscape architects. So we have their input on their experiences at school and past school.
Danielle, a huge congratulations to you and your team for putting this together. And if anyone watching this or listening right now has not gotten their digital copy, you need to get it now, because this book is phenomenal. So how important is Indigenous design for the entire world, and especially Winnipeg and the University of Manitoba?
It's super important to showcase Indigenous student work, specifically because for myself, going into architecture, I didn't even know Indigenous architecture in a modern sense existed. So if I were to see this publication at the age of 18 or whenever I started university, it would be just so encouraging and welcoming to go into the Faculty of Architecture. So yeah, our hopes are to inspire youth, Indigenous youth, and show them that architecture is in fact an option for them, because a lot of people don't even know what architecture is. So this publication hopefully shows these students and these youth what is possible. And more specifically, it would be nice for more northern communities to get a sense of that, or a sense that architecture is attainable and something that's fun and something that can be accessible to everybody, even the northern communities.
I love that you touched on exposing and making more Indigenous folks and youth especially more aware about the possibilities and career and educational opportunities in architecture. And As a current master's student at the University of Manitoba, how has that process been incorporating Indigenous principles into some of your work? How has that evolved?
I think the Faculty of Architecture's awareness and inclusion of Indigenous knowledge, aspects, and students has grown a lot over the past few years that I've been in school. So every year I see more awareness being spread within the faculty. That makes me super happy. So and I think being able to work on certain projects or any project and being able to explore my own culture through these projects is helping me learn about myself, about my culture, my Indigenous culture. And I feel super lucky that I'm able to do that through my projects because the faculty encourages students to just explore things they're super passionate about. So I feel very, very blessed to be able to work on what I want to work on.
And I must say, I'm a huge fan of the book. It looks beautiful. There's elements there that you can't find in any other architecture, and it is unique to the prairies, as it says in the titles, but even more unique to richness of experience. I think the four of you have put together as an architect leader and an industry leader. What is your hope for the future of architecture, and what would you like to see happen in the field?
I think just generally, I'm very happy to be seeing more students, Indigenous and non-Indigenous, explore Indigenous ideas in their projects. Because we are on Treaty 1 territory, we're in Winnipeg, we have such a strong cultural background, and it makes me happy to see other students wanting to explore that and learn about it and not be hesitant to talk about these things. And I think this whole process is reconciliation in itself. So I'm very happy to see that. And I hope to see that continue to grow. And I really hope more Indigenous youth go into architecture. It can be a hard faculty, but it's super rewarding. And I don't have any regrets being in Faculty of Architecture. So yeah, I encourage more youth to get creative and look into architecture and design, landscape design, whatever suits you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Danielle. And thank you to you and your team of editors for really paying it forward and paving it for the next generation. I think that book that you've released is phenomenal, and it will continue to inspire many, many people. And on behalf of our team at Alumni Relations at the University of Manitoba, thank you. We'll hope to see more publications from you and your team.
Thanks so much. It was a pleasure talking to you and doing this publication with the editors.